So on the line is Steve Vaus, mayor of Poway. We're going to talk about his new program in Poway.
But first, PRMI Mortgage, primeres.com/Alpine. Hey, if you're looking to buy, refi, or if you're considering a reverse mortgage, call our local mortgage guy that you can trust. Call Chris Wiley at PRMI Mortgage. For nearly 25 years, Chris has been helping local San Diegans with all their mortgage needs. They make it easy. Work with a friendly expert team that will help you get the best deal on mortgages. Call Chris Wiley at 619-722-1303 or just go to primeres.com/Alpine.
So Mayor Steve Vaus from Poway came up with a really cool program that I hope takes hold. I think it'll do some good. You know, they say see something, say something, and we even talk about all the various warning signs that have happened with some of these mass killers that make the headlines. And Steve's doing something really cool about it. So I wanted to have him come on and talk about it. Mayor, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing really well.
How's it going?
It's going great. Great. Gorgeous day. Nice weekend. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend too.
Good. Well, Mayor, I really appreciate. Why don't we just go right into you? Tell them what I'm referencing.
Well, you pretty much covered it. It's pretty simple. There are typically a large number of warning signs, up to 90%. Some studies say of perpetrators communicate their intentions to others before they undertake mass violence. You look at the guy in Uvalde, Texas. The shooter repeatedly threatened teenage girls on social media, got into fights, cut his own face with a knife, bragged about buying a gun. Somebody asked him, "You going to shoot up a school or something?" But nobody said anything, which is tragic. According to the FBI, those that are most likely to notice those kind of behaviors are family, friends, and classmates, but generally they don't mention the behavior to anyone, and I wanted to close that gap, and so we created the Poway Alert line.
The Poway Alert line. So it's a number people call?
It's a number that people call. 4 years ago, I created the Poway Unified School District tip line that the city does for the schools in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department and the Police Department, allowing students, parents, community members to report individuals or incidents that, they're concerned might jeopardize school safety. And it has been invaluable in, helping to head off potential problems. So I thought, we can do the same thing for the city of Poway, have a line that people can call if they're concerned that someone they know represents a danger to themselves or others or might be thinking about a mass violence event. They can call us anonymously if they want, and it goes instantly to the Sheriff's Department, and then they can handle it.
That's awesome. So there's a little bit of analysis on the other end of the line. They call up and describe the situation, and then the person on the other side of the phone, is it a 911 operator, or who are they talking to exactly?
No, actually, we run it through a system. You've probably heard their ads on the radio called Grasshopper, where the people leave a recorded message, and as soon as they hang up, that recorded message, they can go on as long as they want, instantly goes to 14 different Sheriff's Department Poway team. It also goes to city leadership so that immediately that can be analyzed and determined if it's actionable intelligence or if there's something we can do to help the person on the other end of the line.
Every time there's one of these tragedies, Mayor, I get a bunch of phone calls from local media, and they always want me to explain the entire situation and then, defend the idea that I still think that we should have, civil rights is really what it boils down to. And I always say, hey, look, there were tons of warning signs. There were tons of warning signs. No one did anything. That doesn't mean something's wrong with my Second Amendment. And when I read about this and when I heard you talk about it, I said, yeah, this is exactly what we need. And it's not. I don't think it's the fault of anybody. We get very frustrated with friends and family who surrounded some of these folks. I think that it's tough. It's tough to tell, like, hey, I don't want to call 911. It's not an emergency. And there really aren't.
Boy, you hit it right on the head, because before I took this to city council, I did a very unscientific survey. And I asked friends and residents, if you had concerns that somebody you know represents a danger to themselves or might be playing an act of violence, who would you call?
Yeah, there's no
The
path.
answer was invariably, well, gosh, I wouldn't call 911. I don't know who I'd call. So that's where we felt we had an opportunity to bridge that gap. And, we're advertising it heavily. I would love to see other cities follow in our footsteps here, or the county follow in our footsteps. Get this, the whole program, we're doing a 6-month trial. The cost of it, excuse me, $197.
That's enormous. Where did you find that kind of funding, Mayor? That's
You didn't know he sings?
Doing something on the cheap.
Yeah, you didn't know he sings?
well aware.
He's on the curb more than I know.
He's out with a sign. Need $197. Yeah,
and his guitar.
Well, Mayor, I think that's awesome. I mean, is it fairly easy to? So let's say.
What's the number?
Well, yeah, what is the number?
If remember, it's for Poway. 855-56 alert.
56 alert. So let's say, another city says, yeah, we want to do this, or even the county says, hey, yeah, this is something we want to do. Is that something they could help you with? I mean, was it a tough implementation, or was it fairly easy to switch on?
No, it took 10 minutes. I recorded the message that people hear when they call that number, and it literally less than an hour to set it up and have it operational.
The other cool thing is about that, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you call 911, for the wrong thing, you could easily run afoul of the law. If it's not an emergency and they determine, hey, you know what, you're screwing around here. Maybe not that easily, but with this, there aren't really those consequences, those negative ramifications. Maybe, if you call and say, hey, here's what's going on, and they go, nah, that's not exactly what this is for, or whatever. I guess what I'm saying is, if you call this number, you can't really go wrong. You're not going to keep police from rescuing somebody, or you're not going to abuse the system. I mean, it's meant for you to just give information and then let somebody else analyze and figure out what the best thing to do is, right?
Exactly. If you've got a legit, clear and present danger emergency, call 911 by all means. If in doubt, call 911. But if you've got, you see the guy down the street and, some animals in the neighborhood are turning up dead or something, or, this kid in Uvalde, Texas, he was carrying around dead cats in a bag for weeks before the tragedy there. So if you see something like that and you live in Poway, call 855-56 alert. Now, to your point about, is it going to get weird if you report something wrong? No. I mean, we had a lady call in the other night, God bless her, and she said, somebody gave me this number. I don't know if it's the right number, but there's a baby possum in our neighborhood, and it's wandering around and it's hurt. we were able to point her in the right direction.
Now, what happened with that possum, Mayor? Did everything turn out okay?
As far as I know, that possum is happy and out in the wild again.
Look at that! Already doing good things. In all seriousness, fantastic job, great idea. Our organization, we've been very critical of the gun violence restraining orders, and I think that this is a very reasonable system.
Fix.
Well, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with gun violence restraining orders. It's an alternative, I would say.
Tool.
It's a better tool. It's a far more reasonable, response or a preventative measure. And I think it's a great idea. I'm so glad. Was anybody against it, or was it pretty much,
No, how can you be against it? Where you just take the statistics, and in almost all of these tragedies, people have noticed the problems in advance, but they didn't say anything. How many lives could we have saved if there was an alert system in some of those other cities? Sure. Frankly, I think this idea should be nationwide, but I'd settle for the county.
Your survey tells it all, because what you did is you gave the community a direct line without trying to wonder if their call's 911 worthy. It's like call this number before you dig. Call this number, if you have a a loose animal in your yard. You actually gave them a number to use for their problem. I think that's smart.
So,
well, we're optimistic that it can give us an extra layer of safety here.
So mental health concerns, criminal concerns that are, that aren't emergencies, just any kind of like, gee, that
something that looks weird.
Yeah, the hair on the back of my neck standing up when I see that, or gosh, I got this feeling in my gut and it just doesn't seem right. Let me at least get this information to some folks. We're not violating anybody's rights. We're not, taking anything away from anybody. We're just kind of going, hey, you know what? This feels a little weird. Let's see if we can, possibly get to the bottom. I think it's a great idea, Mayor.
The key word is concern. If you are concerned that someone may be planning an act of violence or could be a danger to themselves or others, that concern, call, and then let us figure it out. Let us see if there's something that
you'll make that decision. You'll make that decision.
Well, the experts will. I certainly won't.
Right.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor. Anything else you want folks to know?
Nah, spread the word about this. Let's get other cities on board.
Let's do it.
All right, my friend. What's the number one more time for anybody in Poway? What number should they call if they have a concern?
855-56-ALERT.
Perfect. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.